Yes, you are absolutely correct. I got confused by the two Peter Urton runners. A lot of trainers have two runners in here. Blinkers go on. No disgrace losing to Kinza in her debut. She actually ran well that day. But there's always a question with first-time turf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because they like the main track doesn't mean they like the turf course.
I talked to Frankie Dettori this morning, and he says she's really quick, and they put blinkers on, which is going to make her quicker. I had to use her. She has a tactical speed, and he said he thinks she'll do fine on the turf, Frankie said. So I think even if she doesn't like the turf, I think she can win today because she has that speed. She has the experience of running twice already, and Frankie likes her.
Frankie likes her. We all like her.
Yeah.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5.
Oh, wait, Tom. I have to go
Hold
back.
on. Hold that thought.
I have a long shot
in race 5.
I would have put third in race 5.
Number 8, I believe.
Yes.
Greer, my dear, first-time Lasix.
Greer,
Tell
my
us
dear,
why.
first-time grass. I've got this filly a lot for trainer Richard Mandela, and from the start, I said, I think this filly would like the grass. They ran her on dirt. She ran incredibly the first time. She didn't run as good as we expected going a mile on the dirt, but I think first-time grass is going to be really interesting for her. And if she runs like I think she will, use her in the exotics.
15-1 on the morning line. Some inside information from our guest Summer and our guest Jessica Pyfer. Let's take a look at race number 6. Begins the 50-cent late pick 5, traveling 1 mile on the main track for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 5. Looks like John White thinks favoritism will go back and forth between number 4, Big Novel, who's 8-5, a Calbred from the John Sadler barn, and number 5, Lisa's No-No from the Mark Glatt barn, who's 9-5 on the morning line. Lisa's No-No was very impressive in victory last time out. Have you been aboard her at all in the mornings?
Yes, and I loved her last time. She was facing winners as a maiden, and that was really impressive to me just to win like that. But I loved her works going into the race. She was very strong. They took the blinkers off, which Antonio Fresu had really blinkers were on, sorry. But Antonio Fresu really liked her going into that race, and I did too. And I thought she won really impressively. And she's been working, I've been working her since that race. She's been working just as good as she was going into that race. And she has the outside post, which I really like as well. And she's tactically there. She actually could be on the lead today. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't. Gila, the horse in the number 2, has some speed with Kent DeSormo, but you never know what can happen. I think she definitely could be on the lead if she wants it. So I had to choose her over Big Novel. Big Novel obviously has been very consistent at the level. She ran against Open last time. She ran second to Lisa's No-No that day. She could upset the apple cart, but I'm going with Lisa's No-No.
During our discussion, Jessica, you've talked about being around so many horses, and of course, each horse is different in terms of their idiosyncrasies. How do you remember who's who in terms of what they like and don't like? You know, both on the track and off the track. You know, some horses might like a certain style of being ridden behind the scenes. Some horses want to be petted. Some horses don't want to see you within 10 miles of them. Like, how do you kind of remember all that?
I've got a good memory, and I care. I think that's the thing about me is I really care. And if there's a horse that's doing something wrong, I'm the person that's like, I want to fix it. Like, give me that as a project.
It's a challenge.
It is. It's a challenge. And I love that about horses. Lisa's No-No, the one we just talked about, she's really strong to gallop in the morning, and she likes to kind of lean out a little bit. She doesn't do it in her works or in her races.
Just the gallops.
But galloping, she likes to kind of lean out a little bit. And I got on her a few days, and she just wasn't. She was too strong for me, and I was like, I can't fix this one, so I gave her away. But horses like that, I like to mess with and see what I can do to make them better.
You're putting a smile on my face because obviously you love the animals, and it shows through certainly during the seminar. Race number 7 begins Jessica's favorite wager, the $3 all-turf pick 3. It also begins the 50-cent late pick 4. And we kick things off sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. There is a scratch. Scratch the 3 Irish Heatwave. Also, the morning line favorite is a first-time gelding, number 7 Leah's Candy from the Mark Glatt barn. 5-2 on the morning line. Can you tell when a horse needs to be gelded? Now, this horse we haven't seen since last year around April or March. But what are some of maybe the signs, you know, keep in mind this is a G-rated program, that kind of makes you, that makes the decision.
Oh, that makes it hard.
Sometimes a difficult decision.
Their attitude completely. If
They're not focused.
They're not focused. They're looking at other horses. They're trying to get closer to other horses. They have a way of doing that. Or a lot of the time they can just be knuckleheads. They can not want to do what you want them to do, and gelding them a lot of the time fixes that. So Leia's Candy definitely needed it. There's some other horses I can name that really need it, but we're not going to talk about that.
We'll wait till it's announced.
Yeah. But I do like this horse. I put him second. And the thing about this horse, even before I got to the Mark Lap barn, he was always on my radar because his works were so incredible in the mornings. And you always knew when he was working phenomenally, he was going to run good. And I think I bet him a lot of the times that he won just because on XBTV, utilize XBTV. It's just so good to watch the horses in the morning. You can really get a sense of how they're doing coming into the races. And this horse has been training really good coming to this race. So I had to use him. I think he's a better horse on the dirt, really. But this race came up, and you got to utilize the conditions in the races when they come up. So had to use him first time gelding.
Frankie's got the mount today. Does Frankie work horses in the morning? I honestly don't know.
Yeah, he does. And he works quite a bit for the Mark Lap barn. I think he's been on this one in the morning. I think he came out and worked him a few weeks ago. So it's always nice to have a jockey who knows the horse going into the race.
Race number 8, we're going 1 mile on the main track. It's for maiden special weight 3-year-olds. We've got a field of 6. Bob Baffert trains 2 of them, but the morning line favorite is on the bottom, trained by Richard Dutrow. Ignite the Light, who's putting blinkers on, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Jessica, I want to watch your workout for number 4, Lake Superior, as you mentioned, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com. You can go there free of charge. Just type in the horse's name, and you can see you can see workouts exactly like this. And what you see watching this workout is Lake Superior is on the outside. Take a look at the work made on the inside. None other than Muth, who finished second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile right here at Santa Anita this past November. So his workmate is obviously very talented. This was something that I definitely wanted to show, only because Lake Superior showed speed going 2 turns on the turf course last time. Sure looks like he's retained all that speed. You can see Muth kind of drifts out here, Jessica. Not sure if you've seen this replay before, but do you have any impressions of what you're looking at right now?
Well, I know the rider on on Lake Superior got in big trouble for this work. He was supposed to lay off Muth a little bit and let him have a little bit of it. Is
that why the exercise rider on Muth kind of gave him a few
yeah, I think he took him
glances?
out a little wide.
Yeah.
But Muth is such a good horse, and if you can even keep up this far with this horse, I think you got a good shot. So you're scaring me a little bit because I didn't use him.
But you did use Battle Cruiser.
Yes, and Battle Cruiser was my easy top choice. I thought this horse has had the best first time start where the others have not. Lake Superior has not shown a thing, and they bought him for $1 million. And look, Baffert put him on the turf last time. You know what Baffert does when they put him on the turf? It means they're trying to figure out something different to do with this horse because he hasn't been proving himself. So I had to take Lake Superior out of there. Battle Cruiser, when he ran his last race, he actually ran against a teammate of his named Scatify, who ended up winning that race. I went to Juan Leyva, John Sadler's assistant, that day, and I said, which one do you like better? And he said, Battle Cruiser. And I said, really? I think he needs to go long. I like Scatify for the short race. Scatify ended up winning. Battle Cruiser ran third. However, that just shows that the barn really liked him going into his debut, and they know that he has a lot more to show, and he's finally going around 2 turns this time, and I had to choose him on top, and honestly, it was an easy top pick for me.
The best betting race on the card goes as our stakes race. It's race number 9. It's the Wishing Well Stakes. It's for fillies and mares coming down the hillside turf course, 6.5 furlongs. Also begins the $1 Golden Hour pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. We've got a field of 10 after the scratch of number 11, Warren's Candy Girl. Morning line favorite, number 2, Graceland Gray from the Peter Urton barn, who's 7-2 on the morning line. Your dad has 2 runners in here, Carmen Miranda and School Dance. But before we talk about the race, let's watch the replay for number 5, Miss Lizzie, who was very impressive last time out in victory on the flat turf course. Breaks from post position number 10, which is the far outside post, and closes from dead last. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action for Miss Lizzie's last performance.
And they're off. Just Nails is very quick out of the gate, and so is Don't You Forget. Here comes Rugalach, and Rugalach up to take the lead. Havana Angel flashing good prominent foot to take over. Irresistible Force is now in second, and Rugaluk will now track them from third. Just Nails broke on top, 4 off the pace in fourth, followed by Don't You Forget. Aranity is next with less than a half mile to travel. It's then another 2 lengths back. She's Got Away, racing on the outside of Real Fire. At the back of the field, Miss Lizzie and Venganza. Rounding the turn, Havana Angel, a length and a half in front of Irresistible Force. Rugaluk moves up on the outside third. They're followed by Just Nails. Don't You Forget is next. Very wide, She's Got Away, making headway. Real Fire is just inside of her. Miss Lizzie looking for racing room for the final eighth of a mile, is going to tip out very late. And Aranity in the green, it's still wide open. The lead, Rugaluk narrowly. Here comes Miss Lizzie on the outside. Has to get to Don't You Forget, but Miss Lizzie with a head of steam. Miss Lizzie was much the best under Antonio Fresu.
Jessica, Frank Miramati, our track announcer, doesn't miss much, and he picked up mid-stretch Miss Leslie, making that late pickup run to get all the marbles that particular day. You think that she's going to get the marbles today?
I love this race. I think this is an ultimate betting race. I mean, School Dance is the favorite at 4-1. That just shows that nobody really knows who's going to win this. And I actually didn't use that School Dance. I used Miss Lizzie. I thought that was a really impressive race. I think she had a lot more in her cage, I guess.
In the tank.
In the tank. There we go. In the tank. And I mean, she broke from the outside post. She was way last, and she just ate them up. So I love her coming to that. And even not just that race, she's been consistent in a lot of other races as well. And then I had to go to the outside a little bit, who is the number 3, actually. I used Phenom towards the inside. She has a tactical speed. I think before we never thought she was going to be able to go further, and she's kind of proven that. She won by 7 lengths last time. That was super impressive for Doug O'Neill to claim her from Phil D'Amato and win twice with her and do as well as he has done with her. So I like her as well. And I would throw in a little bit of a long shot to the outside as well. Number 8, Carmen Miranda. I like her as well. She's run really well down the hill, and I think that's really important, and she's been working really good coming to this race as well.
We close out the day and we close out the week in race number 10. Keep in mind, next weekend is Big Cap weekend. Big Cap on Saturday. We've got 4 stake races, but live racing resumes on Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time post. But first things first, race 10 is a maiden special weight Calbred for 3-year-old event going 1 mile on the turf course, a field of 7. Prohibitive favorite number 4, Clements Ride from the John Sadler Barn, 6-5 on the Maury Lane. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite, Jessica?
Thumbs up. I went with chalk here. I had to. I think Clements Ride, the number 4, and number 6 Traveling Show are probably the top 2 betting choices, and I'm thinking they'll be the top 2 horses as well.
Another one of Jessica Pyfer's favorite wagers is the Coast to Coast Pick 5, and that's offered today, linking races both from Gulfstream Park and Sandy. It kicks off with Gulfstream Park race number 9. As you can see, at 1:06 p.m. Pacific time, 15% takeout, $1 minimum, always pays extremely well. Make sure you get involved with that. Jessica, I think I speak for all the viewers that the last 40 minutes have been incredibly insightful. It's an honor to have you not only on the show, but also have you be part of the simulcast team. Keep up the great work, and thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Quigley.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. We hope to see you on Friday when we resume racing. Until then, good luck at the races today and have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon. Welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast. The turf is firm. Rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes. First race, no super high five. Scratch 4, Moody Jim. Changes in the second. In the third, no super high five. Scratch 1, Cribbage Board. Fourth race begins the middle, pick 4. No changes. Fifth race kicks off the $1 pick 6, just a blinker note. In the sixth, beginning of the late pick 5, no changes. Race 7, scratch 3, Irish Heat Wave. The all-turf pick 3 and late pick 4 begin with the 7th. Blinker notes in race number 8.